What's platinum? Four hearts. All right, here we go. So the four hearts is the first card of all of the cards that is dealing with stability. Okay, so fours always represent stability. Four of hearts is going to represent stability in emotion. It's going to represent stability in love. What does that translate to? Well, obviously it's going to translate to marriage, children, family. And I'm not talking about like the ace of hearts. I'm talking about like literally like the foundation of love itself, like the house, the emotional house upon which you build the foundation for the rest of your life. When it comes to family and idealism and the emotional world that we know is literally the beginning of pretty much all of our experiences, like people that had a rough upbringing, they didn't have the stability. They didn't have the emotional stability in the home. They didn't have maybe they had a single parent household, or maybe they were raised by relatives, aunts, uncles, or in the foster care system, or all of these quote unquote issues that we have in life, right, stem from this emotional foundation of a desired family, right? Like the traditional nuclear family, right? Mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever, right? Well, the Four of Hearts has the strongest calling to create this type of emotional foundation and family structure, and they will do what they need to do in order to get that. If they don't have that, there can be such a pain that is so great that they need to rely on escapism or some sort of idealism or fantasy, but definitely some sort of escape to soothe that pain that they encounter when if they don't reach this ideal foundation that they seek. The catch is they have everything they need to acquire this emotional stability that they so badly desire. And if they don't achieve it, they only have themselves to blame for it. Same thing goes with finances. Same thing goes with, they have everything they need to achieve a financial stability, financial security, all those sorts of things associated with finances. They have everything they need. However, if they don't achieve it, they only have themselves to blame for it. They have a strong desire to express themselves. They want to express themselves, a calling for the theater or musical entertainment or entertainment in general, and they often find a route to express themselves in that way. And they can also be healers. They can be they're so stable in the way that they operate that that stability can even permeate and translate out into others, and they can heal others from their ailments. They can be great holistic healers, holistic practitioners. They can even go into the traditional medical system. Although I have my reservations about that whole system, we won't get into that. But the good parts about it, like when it comes to somebody who actually needs a physical therapist or somebody who needs to be able to heal from some sort of ailment, they have the ability to really tap in and they can do wonders. They have a very unique approach. They have a mind that is so structured that it has a natural inclination to add to the security of others and those around them. Their mind is wired to help people fix their emotional security and their own, of course. Sometimes that manifests itself as their lives feeling restless in a way, or a restless energy. But if you cannot have light without dark, you cannot have dark without light, or the absence of light. And as far as healers go, they have the ability to tap in and really manifest and heal those around them. When you think about stability, when you think about 4 points on a pyramid, for example. Okay, so let's talk about quasi-crystals, right? Let's talk about the theory of the new theory of everything that many physicists are working on, where you have an E8 quasi-crystal, which when taking an 8th dimensional object and shining it down on a 2-dimensional surface, and then extrapolating that 2-dimensional image into a 3-dimensional representation of that 8th-dimensional object. At the center of the object, you get a pyramid, you get a tetrahedron. So even in our most fundamental, the most fundamental nature that potentially, because it is a theory of everything, but the most fundamental mental nature of everything, at the very center is a tetrahedron, is a pyramid. It's essentially the pixel for, or potentially the pixel for our reality. And why is that significant? Well, if there's 4 points on this pyramid that create this stability, it's super essential for people that have the 4 of hearts to realize that they are the foundation. They are the fulcrum, so to speak, but also the stable factor of their family. So people come to them for support. They are the healers. They are the ones that have also a desire to express themselves. And it's a different type of artistic expression than, say, the 3 of hearts, which would be the previous video. But nonetheless, I guess art is subjective. There's no objective form of expression. So when these people express themselves, they are always going to be rewarded appropriately. They will have their natural disposition equate to they'll get a reward for expressing themselves regardless, and that reward should manifest itself as them working more towards the foundation that they seek. That foundation is an emotional one. It's the foundation of family. It's the foundation of a spiritual connection with their familial structure that they desire to create out of their own volition. They're the only ones to blame if they don't manifest it. As far as their emotional state goes, they do typically do good with health, but they have no room in their makeup for overindulgence and indulgence in any way, because there's usually swift chastisement when it comes to indulging in excessive experiences, where indulging in virtually anything, like over too much food, too much lounging around, too much, whatever it is. Don't be excessive with it, because your health will be directly affected by the overindulgent nature. If you put that in its place, on the flip side, they could be great organizers. They could be great teachers. They can run the entire show when it comes to organizing an event. Like I was discussing, as far as the 4 points on the pyramid, if you picture a box, or if you picture a cube, a structured cube, this is what you're going to get emotionally from these people. You guys have the ability, or they, depending on if you're watching this video and you know someone, have an emotional strength within them that once it's expressed properly, you can liken it to the grandpa that has all of his kids and grandkids, and he's got his wife around him and just hanging out, and he has a bunch of artistic expression that he's created throughout the world, whether he's a sculptor or whether he's a painter or whether he's a musician. Those creative works are going to be appreciated by his family, and that's kind of the ultimate expression, the ultimate positive experience of the 4 of hearts, is to have the love, the family, the foundation, the structure, the manifestation, the completion, the creative expression manifest itself all around you, almost like this orb or this cube or this pyramid of family, structure, creative expression, love, organization, a foundation that was built upon a desire to heal and a desire to help others and a desire to be that rock, that stabilizing foundation, that stabilizing grounding force. That's the positive expression of the 4 of hearts. It's beautiful once it manifests itself. And again, if they can be great with money, and if they aren't great with money, they only have themselves to blame, because they were gifted with everything they need in order to succeed. Because if you look at the cards, the most successful cards in the decks are very, very much even, or at least numerologically they break down to even numbers. The 4s, the 8s, the 10s, the jacks, the queens, the kings. If you have a 4 in your chart, you will have that stabilizing force in your nature. If you have a 4 of hearts in your day, you're going to be dealing with love, marriage, family. These are the themes that are approaching stability. It can be a stabilizing force that That if you have like a rough other card for your day, if you have this Four of Hearts also, it's going to work out. The outcome's going to be good no matter what. And many people that are very successful have Four of Hearts as their card. They are the natural healers. They're the natural stabilizers. They're the natural. It's the love and marriage and family card, and they want to project that out into the world. Ideally, in a perfect world for a Four of Hearts, their fellow man is benefiting from their foundational prowess or for their foundational strength, their ability to organize their emotions properly in order to seek that real world validation, or that in order to seek that real world stabilizing force. Their negative expression obviously is frustration over not getting that stabilizing influence, and it can happen if they are not achieving that stabilizing foundation. If they don't get access to it, they're gonna be pissed off. They're gonna be like, depressed or down and out. And again, that's where that overindulgence comes in. They're gonna they're the ones that get their butt kicked back on the path to getting that thing that they seek that they sought in the first place. The stability, the love, the marriage, the family, the foundation. Their gifts are plenty. They are the ones that can surpass, like the family and friends when it comes to being like the emotionally grounded one, essentially. And again, they may not feel that because, like I was saying before, like if they may feel internally that there's a lot of restless energy, there's a lot of restlessness, but it's like that dichotomy or that dualistic nature, or the fact that there's not light without dark. You can't have the absence of light without entering darkness. You can't have the absence of darkness without entering light. What I mean by that is if there's no way for them to seek, or there's no way for them to achieve that stability that they're seeking without passing through some of these trials that end up having them experience that contrast, that which they don't want in order to align with what they do want. And then once they experience that contrast, they can eliminate the resistance that they have towards whatever it is that they're attempting to achieve, because they're the ones that are getting in their own way. If they are getting in their own way, because they've been equipped with an excessive ability to express themselves appropriately. The Four of Hearts. Thanks for tapping in with this Four of Hearts video. Went a little over, but whatever. We had like some technical difficulties that we resolved. Yeah, man. Subscribe or something like that.